Hi everyone, welcome to Chemistry Catalyst channel. This is Mahesh. I hope you might have seen my first video on isomerism. If you didn't watch that first video, you can just search in YouTube by typing isomerism by Chemistry Catalyst. You will find that video, and in this session I'm going to deal other isomers too. We know that other isomers are positional isomerism, functional isomerism, metamerism, ring chain isomerism, and tautomerism. I'll complete today positional isomerism and functional isomerism with lots of example. Possibly, I also try to complete ring chain isomerism too. Let's start our session. Before starting our session, if anyone didn't subscribe my channel, try to subscribe my channel for more updates on chemistry related to all other competitive exams like NEET, JEE, and even CBSE, IGCSE, others also. Right, let's start our class today. Our session is on positional isomerism as well as functional isomerism. Right. So second isomerism, that is nothing but positional isomerism. Positional isomerism can be defined as those are the structural isomers having same molecular formula, but there will be a difference in the position of functional group or side chain or multiple bonds on similar or identical parent chain is nothing but called as positional isomerism. Right? So I'll write the same definition. Those are the compounds, or those are the structural isomers. Those are the structural isomers having same molecular formula but differ in the position of functional group, position of functional group, position of functional group, or side chain, or multiple bond, multiple bonds on same or identical parent chain. So try to remember that whenever we are trying to see whether a given compound or whether given structure showing positional isomerism or not, for that what we need to see means all the time we should have identical parent chain. Identical parent chain. So chain length should be same. That is mean chain length should be same. Not only chain length should be same. Suppose if you are talking about the positional isomerism, then the functional group should be same. Functional group should be same, or side chain should be same, or multiple bond should be same. And what should be different? Only position should be different. That's all. That functional group position or that side chain position or multiple bond position should differ. That's all. Okay. If it is happening, then we can say that that is what exhibiting functional isomerism. Okay, let's see the first example. CH3, CH2, CH2, OH. I hope you know the IUPAC name of this compound. That is propane 1-ol or propanol. Okay, 1-propanol. And suppose if I write another compound like this, CH3, CH, CH3, then if someone asks what is the name of this compound, then you can say that it is nothing but 1, 2, 3, and here also parent chain 1, 2, 3. So parent chain length is same, functional group same, OH here also OH, but position of functional group only different. Here in the first compound 1-propanol, 1 position of functional group is 1. In the second compound it is nothing but 2-propanol, only position is changed. Only position is changed. That is the reason why you can say that they are positional isomers. They are positional isomers. Right? Let's have one question. How many positional isomers of dimethyl cyclohexane are possible? Question. How many positional isomers are possible for dimethyl cyclohexane compound? So we need to draw first of all dimethyl cyclohexane. Cyclohexane, this is what cyclohexane. Dimethyl they are saying, so 2 methyl group. One methyl is this, another methyl is this. This is what one compound possible, and another compound this, another compound like this 1, 3, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4. There is no 1, 5. Why? Suppose if you write 1, 5, if you say it is 1, 5, suppose you are saying this is what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sir, it is what 1, 5. No, it is not 1, 5. It is only 1, 3. We need to give least number. That is what correct way of numbering the compound. Okay, so this is not right. Okay, in fact this compound and this compound both are same. Okay, so how many are possible? Answer is nothing but 4. Okay, right. So another question, second question. How many positional isomers? How many positional isomers of dimethyl benzene are possible? Options you can say A 2, B 3, C 4, D 5. Right, let's see. I hope you might have got the answer. Right? This is what first compound. Right, 1, 2. 1, comma 3, 1, comma 4. So how many compounds are possible? There are only 3, right? So B is correct answer. Yes. So let's move on to the another question. Third question. How many nitrophenols are possible? How many nitrophenols possible? Before completion of this question itself, you might have got the answer. If you are that much quick, then you can score very good mark in competitive exam, because it is what such a easy question, right? So now, so nitrophenol, phenol you know, OH. Nitro means NO2 group. This is what one compound. This is what another compound. And you can say 1, comma 2. Okay, that means R2, meta, and para. Right? Yes. So its also answer is 3. Let's move on to the another type of isomerism, that is nothing but functional isomers. Very important. Okay, right. Third one, chain isomerism completed, positional isomerism completed. Now let's move on to the functional isomerism. Let's move on to the functional isomerism. Functional isomerism means functional group itself different. That's all. So those are the structural isomers. Those are the structural isomers having same molecular formula and same what? Same parent chain, right? Is it right? Parent chain, we don't discuss, we won't write about parent chain. Yeah, having same molecular formula but different but different functional group then. Okay, yes, let's have an example. CH3 CH2 OH. Another compound CH3O CH3. What is the functional group over this compound? Here alcohol. Functional group is alcohol. What about here? Here it is ether. Okay. And formula, you see both are having 2 carbon atoms, 6 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. So C2H6O. So this one also C2H6O. This one also C2H6O. So same molecular formula, right? So second question, second compound example. Okay, right. CH3, CH2, CH2, NH2. CH3, CH2, NH, CH3, CH3, N, CH3, CH3. You see, all are having same molecular formula. Don't say that all are having same functional group. Here, it is what primary, it is what secondary, it is what tertiary amines. Okay. Remember and understand that in organic chemistry, we will consider that primary, secondary amines as different functional groups. Okay, and they are actually called as functional isomers. Okay, what is the relationship between primary, secondary, tertiary amines? That is, they are functional isomers. And one more important example also I will say, that is CH3 C triple bond N. What is this compound? Cyanide, right? So I'll write another compound CH3 ENC. What is the functional group here? Sir, in the one case cyano group, another case, another side, it is isocyanate, right? Both are actually different groups. Both are actually different functional group. That is the reason why you can say that both are one to one another functional isomers. Okay, so now I'll give it tabular column which gives the double bond equivalent as well as compounds possible for possible functional isomers. Okay, let's have the formula for double bond equivalent. Double bond equivalent. What this double bond equivalent will tell you means the number of or the possible number of double bonds or cyclic compounds, likewise it will tell you. Okay, so right, I'll give an example and explain. Okay, so double bond equivalents. Okay, or it is also called as degree of unsaturation. Degree of unsaturation. Okay, or in simple word, double bond equivalent. Double bond equivalent, or DBE also okay. That is equals to carbon plus 1 minus H plus X minus N whole divided by this one only divided by 2. That's all. Okay, so this one I hope you will understand. Okay, right. Yes. Okay, this is what important formula and you should remember all the time. Okay, so double bond equivalent is equals to C plus 1 minus H plus X minus N by 2, where C is nothing but number of carbon atoms in a given compound, H is nothing but number of hydrogens, X is nothing but number of halogens, and nitrogen is nothing but N, right? Yeah. So let's have a tabular column. First, general molecular formula, I'll write this side. General molecular formula. Then double bond equivalent. Then compounds possible. Compounds possible. Compounds possible. Okay, so first one, let's start with the alkane formula. Okay, alkane everyone knows, I hope. What is the formula? CN H2N plus 2, and if you write or if you calculate DBE, you will get double bond equivalent. You consider any one alkane and you try to find out what is the DBE. You will find 0. In fact, DBE is actually calculated with respect to alkane only. See, degree of unsaturation. Okay, but alkane is a saturated compound, therefore there is no unsaturation over here. Hence, only one compound is possible, that is nothing but alkane. Okay, only one compound is possible, that is nothing but alkane. Right. So let's move on another compound. CnH2n. See, from here to here you remove how much? 2 hydrogens. If you remove 2 hydrogen, that is equal to 1 double bond equivalent. Okay. Or else you can have one alkene form, alkene compound and try to calculate dBe. You will get dB is equals to 1 only. Okay. If 1 will be the dBe means that is alkene or cycloalkane. Okay. Any cycloalkane you consider, that cycloalkane also will have same dBe. That indicates what? Alkene and cycloalkane both are functional isomers. I hope you are understanding now. The next one, CnH2n minus 2. It is what called as alkane, right? We know that is only alkane, but it is not. What is the double bond equivalent from this? This is what saturated. So from this to alkyne, how many number of hydrogens you remove? 4 hydrogen. So 2 hydrogen equals to 1 double bond equivalent. So that is the reason why here it is equals to 2. So what are the compounds possible? Alkyne, not only alkyne, 1 ene means 1 double bond equivalent. 2 ins means double bond equivalent 2. That is nothing but diene. Okay, that is also nothing but cycloalkene. Cycloalkene. Cycloalkene double bond equivalent how much is it? 1. So cycloalkene will be 2, obviously, right? Next, 1 cyclic means double bond equivalent 1. So 2 cyclic means 2. Next one more thing is called spiro compound. Another compound is called as spiro compound. I'll tell you what is bicyclo, what is spiro. Okay, right. This is what second. Yes. So try to note down this. Yes. Right. So let's have another compound, that is nothing but alcohol. So alcohol formula is nothing but CnH2n plus 2O. So double bond equivalent will be 0 because CnH2n plus 2 is there. No. So no unsaturation. Saturation only everything. So what are possible? Alcohols and ethers. Alcohols and ethers. So alcohols and ethers are nothing but functional isomers. And another one, CnH2n plus 3n. And for this, more than saturation. Okay. So that is nothing but 0. So this is, you can write as primary, secondary, tertiary amines. Primary, secondary, tertiary amines. Okay. Next one, CnH2nO. Now it is CnH2n, that is nothing but unsaturation equals to 1. So it is a carbonyl compound. It is a carbonyl compound. Carbonyl compound means it may be aldehyde or it may be ketone. It may be aldehyde, it may be ketone. And then not only these compounds, unsaturated alcohol and ether. Unsaturated alcohol and ether. Okay, then cyclic alcohols. and ether. Okay, I hope you understood till this. Okay, yes. And I'll write one or two compounds. After that, we'll start. So next one, Cn H2n minus 1 n, that is double bond equivalent to, they are cyanides and isocyanides. Okay, right. Let's start examples. Question. Easy question we will do first of all. Okay, so few questions we'll discuss. After that, we'll stop the session. Okay, so with that, we are going to complete our functional isomerism. Okay, question. How many isomeric alcohols are possible? Isomeric alcohols are possible from molecular formula C4H10O. See, C4H10O. Right? They're asking alcohols, right? So alcohol means, so we will have ROH. So out of this compound formula, so one oxygen and one hydrogen we need to subtract. So how much you are going to have? C4, one hydrogen remove, so you'll have C4H9OH. Now you think, what is this C4OH? C4H9. The C4H9 is nothing but butyl group. Okay, this one is butyl. So with butyl, how many possibilities are there? So this butyl group may be N-butyl. This butyl may be isobutyl. This butyl may be secondary butyl. This butyl may be tertiary butyl. Okay, that means like this, or okay, then secondary means just wait, we will do secondary butyl. Right. Yes, this one will be CH2, CH3. This one will be CH3. This one is secondary, and the one what I drawn here, this is not isobutyl. Isobutyl means like this, like this. This one is isobutyl. Tertiary butyl, so it will be like this. Okay, so CH3, 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 OH. Okay, so this is nothing but, so how many are possible? 4. So answer will be 4. Okay, yes. So let's move on to the another question. So before moving on to the another question, you remember few things. Okay, suppose if you have propyl group, and how many isomeric propyls are possible? Suppose someone asks this question. How many isomeric profiles. Isomeric profiles are possible. Then how many try to answer? Just now we completed butyl, okay, and pentyl also you can try, okay. See, with the propyl we'll have n propyl isopropyl, okay. So how many are possible? Only two. Suppose C4H9 butyl group, that is equals to 4. And what are they? Just now I said N-butyl, isobutyl, second-butyl, tertiary-butyl. Next, C5H11. This is pentyl group. So how many are possible? 8 are possible. Okay. So you try to draw all the 8 to confirm whether it is right or wrong. Okay. Yes. So remember this. Okay. Let's move on to the question now. Question is very simple. How many primary amine are possible? Primary amine are possible from C5H13N. C5H13N. Okay. So C5H13N primary amine. Primary amine means are NH2. So that means C5H2 this side will go on. That means 11 NH2. So just now I said C5H11 means, so how many possibilities are there? 8 possibilities. So how many are there? So answer will be 8. Understood? So without doing anything, if you remember this, then you can answer. Okay? And we will solve 2 questions more. With that, we are going to start the session. Okay? Another question. How many isomers are possible from? How many isomers are possible from C5H10? See, whenever we get C5H10, so you can see what is the double bond equivalent. So double bond equivalent will be, okay, formula C plus 1 minus H plus X minus N by 2. If you substitute carbon number 5 plus 1 minus hydrogen 10, no hydrogen but no nitrogen by 2. So 6 minus 5, that is equals to 1. Or else you can simply say it is what CN H2N. So alkene, therefore 2 hydrogens are less. Therefore you can say Db equals to 1. This and all very easy. Now, so that means what? With this we will have alkene and we will have cycloalkane also. Correct? No? Cycloalkane. Right? Now you see how many alkenes are possible. Alkene, 5 carbon atom, right? So 5 carbon atom, C, 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 C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second, C, 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 C. 3 carbon, 3 possibilities. Okay. Then fourth possibility, and then C, 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 double bond C, C. Fifth possibility. Correct? No? So how many alkenes are there? Alkenes are 5. Next, cycloalkenes. So you can have cyclopentane. After that, this one, dimethyl also you can have. Okay, and with this only you have other possibilities like this, right? Or else you can have CH2, CH3. Okay, what about this? 5. So totally 5 plus 5, 10. 5 plus 5, 10. So now you will get a doubt. Do we need to draw all the structures in the exam also? See, in the exam, without drawing this, you cannot answer. For that sake only, you need to practice such a kind of question. If you are not practicing, then you need to practice in the exam. Therefore, which consumes actually time, hence you will lose the battle. So that's the reason why whenever you go for any competitive exam, you should have ample of practice. So many different questions you need to practice. Then you can solve other questions too, easily that too. Okay, right. Next question. How many, last question, how many carbonyl compounds will be possible for C5H10O? I'll give options also. Option A 5, option B 7, option C 9, option D 4. Okay, let's see this. C5H10O, carbonyl compounds. Okay, C5H10O, that is what having formula C5CnH2nO. CnH2nO means it is what a formula of both aldehydes and ketones, right? So now aldehydes I'll write this side and I'll write ketone on this side. Okay, so aldehyde means RCHO. So out of C5H10O, CHO is completed. So R is nothing but what? C4H9CHO. So C4H9, how many combinations you will have? You will have only 4 combinations you will have. Okay. So that means how many aldehydes are possible? 4 aldehydes are possible. Right. Now ketone you see. Ketone is nothing but it can be R C double bond O or R dash C double bond O R. Correct? No. So let's see now. Anyway, C double bond will be used. Therefore, this is C2H5. Okay, instead of writing C2H5, all those things, what we will do means this side 2 carbon atoms possible. This side 2 carbon atoms are possible. Like this, how many combinations are there? Only one combination is possible. Okay. So this side ethyl, that side ethyl means only one combination. Ethyl, there is no isomer, right? Suppose one side is propyl, one side is C double bond O and one side is only methyl. So methyl means this one do not show any isomerism, right? But what about the propyl? Propyl will show 2 isomers, right? 2 isomers, right? So how many total? This 2 plus 1. Totally ketones are 3. So 4 plus 3, totally 7. And your answer will be 7. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed the video, then try to share the video and try to subscribe my channel. And let's meet in the next session with many more interesting topics. Okay, thank you.